moving on off the threads and line and onto the two-piece.
Yes, sir. Two-piece combo.
For the listeners, for the gods, for Alex Alpharaoh here. This is a part of the show where we are going to watch a little video again by Almonte Films.
Yeah.
It's a spoken word like inside of a short film.
Harlem Round Midnight.
Yeah, so we're going to watch that and we're going to break that down and then we're going to get into the little part of the two-piece after that. But first, we're just going to chop this up real quick.
Beat fathers carry bags on their eyes.
Off the rip.
Damn, we're just going to do it like that.
Off the rip.
Time.
Beat fathers carry bags under their eyes.
All right.
Fuck, dude.
Yep.
Like,
And veins in their hands blink to flush the heat of day.
Shout out to Jazz, always making poetry stronger forever.
it's called like Round About Midnight, so
Yeah,
it
yeah,
also
yeah.
has that. Shout out to
Suitcase
Thelonious.
soldiers off the
Bless them all.
cross-town convoy. COs passing, CO gas hissing.
Fire.
Wordplay as fuck.
Face
What's
of
up?
homeless veterans as the convoy leaves. A loud stench and a sour sight cushion the jagged coasts of K2 Island.
Yo, like we were saying, that double entendre shit.
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
up?
of like sour, loud,
See you weed heads.
and then K2, but then like also like how that's pertaining to the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Fire.
and I mean, and you're looking at how he's playing with the senses, right? A loud stench. A stench is traditionally something that is
Word.
smelled.
Right. Sour
right?
sight.
And a sour sight is usually something that is tasted. But the sight of something that is sour can also be something that you can experience visually. You know what I mean?
Fire.
Like
Yeah.
he's distorting our perceptions with half a bar, man. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Crazy. Yo, and that's just a setup. That's not even a punchline, bro.
Yeah.
While half-conscious Coast Guards taste crack cement.
Right there, though. Like, that shit is so hard. That fucking half-conscious Coast Guard.
While half-conscious Coast Guards taste cracked cement.
Oh, gee. And I love concrete. Like, concrete and cement is my shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's a
Facts.
major theme in my work.
Well,
Concrete God.
Oh.
Well, if you even want to go further, right, and I mean, and I'm looking at the symbolism behind it. I
Yeah,
mean,
let's overanalyze this
what
shit.
is
Hell yeah.
what is a Coast Guard? You know what I mean?
Where? What?
What is-
Especially in New York, G.
Yeah, what is a Coast Guard?
Word.
I mean, let's look at the ocean. If we're talking about dream interpretations, the ocean or water is symbolism for emotions
Yeah,
and
we're-
feelings, and a Coast Guard guards the emotions. But if your emotions as a Coast Guard are being tasted by the cracked cement, and if you're taking the crack that's
Yo.
cemented,
Ooh.
right?
Ooh.
You know what I'm
Like
saying?
that.
We're getting deep right now. Also, too, like, I just had the realization that, like, we don't have a coast here. We got the beach here.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In New York, you have a coast.
Yeah.
There's a coast because it
And
ain't
this is
just
like
a
Harlem Round
beach.
Midnight. So yeah.
Yeah,
It really
like I'm
speaks
saying,
to what he's
exactly.
doing.
Like
Yeah.
there's boroughs in New York that are against the water, and there ain't no motherfucking beach nowhere. You know what I'm
Just
saying?
rocks.
Just
Rocks,
the coast.
Yeah.
That's why they got to wear the Timbs on the beach.
Yeah.
on the coast.
We see you with your unlaced Timbs and your fucking sandwich in your brown bag.
Hey,
That beach picnic life. With your 90s fucking puffy ass jacket on because it's cold.
it's brick, B.
Got it at Unique Low.
Hey. We got the Carhartt or the North Face, B.
Pocket full of dreams. Wallet full of nightmares.
Fucks with
So
it.
wallet full of nightmares. It's like, you know, it reminds me of my pops, man. I remember my pops passed when I was 16 years old.
Rest in peace.
And
Bless
thank
God.
you. And the only physical possession of his that I still have is his old wallet.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. And I have his wallet exactly the way he had it when they found him, right? And his wallet has 3 items in it. It has a picture of my sister when she's 6 years old that's glued on to the wallet, an old lottery ticket that didn't win, and a $2 bill.
Damn.
And the nightmares of of his wallet, of being hungry, of having children that he couldn't feed, of not being able to pay.
So that line of extra hits.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that hits me because I've had those experiences. Like, I could pull out my wallet right now and I don't have cash, but I got credit. But my pops didn't have credit. He didn't have cash.
Word.
He didn't have.
That's so real because like my wallet full of nightmares is like, oh, I forgot my credit card at the bar and that was like over in Fullerton, so I gotta drive all the way back to the OC just to get my credit card and close the bill out, and then there's gonna be a $50 extra overnight fee. It's like,
Yeah, word.
but yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like poetry speaks to money, people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to diners that serve wine like that.
Oh yeah.
Healthy eyes, tantalized by.
That was a nice little couplet.
Bars, measures by the kilo. Symphonies of car horns.
Can I just say real quick, like, I'm so over. Okay, if you're doing yuck and you ever done yuck, you know what I'm saying? Bless the cocaine god. There ain't nothing around your fucking nose. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no like, oh, they got a little like. I'm eating all that. I'm gonna make sure there ain't nothing around. And I hate that
allegedly,
advice.
like,
I hate that advice.
no
dog.
dry snitch, bro.
I hate that. I don't give a fuck, dog. We about to normalize
God.
everything. Gee, I ain't scared of you. Come find me. But I'm just sick of that device. Like, oh, how are we gonna show he's doing cocaine? We'll just put a little bit of fucking.
On the low.
It's a powder donut.
inaccurate.
It's a powder
So
donut.
inaccurate. Unless you
So-
on that Scarface tip, so inaccurate.
So we've heard.
Under the bridge of pay for play. Right ear deafened by the call of wives and abandoned children.
Shout out Almonte.
Yep.
I didn't even that left right pan thing. I didn't even get the first time I heard it either. Like the left pan, like on the street, and then the right pan, like the repercussions of what you're doing. Wild.
Y'all listening, you gotta like watch this on YouTube. Shit is fire.
Yeah.
Sons leave while the sun grieves. Another work day to rise once again above the leaves of fathers, beat dead by day, alive by night.
I fucks with that.
He's doing a lot of really interesting setup stuff to get us somewhere. That one didn't really hit me like the other one does. The sun grieves line too. Like, I don't like when people ascribe things to the sun either because it's too easy.
Time, like you were saying, it's a setup. It's not even the punch. But but then like that's there's something to be said that like earlier in the poem, like he has setups that are practically punches. It's like,
word.
So when you're going back to back, it's like that's fire.
Yeah, I just don't like the whole sun thing. Like, all right, we've all heard it. Like, there's another device there.
Well, I was hoping that he was going to do something a little bit more elaborate, as opposed to going, come alive at night.
Yeah,
it was very just he sets it up and then
there's no
delivery, there's no oomph. I mean, because if you think about it, it's like if the sun is grieving, why would the sun grieve if the sun?
Yeah,
has,
exactly. That's what I thought
too. Sun doesn't give a fuck.
But maybe it's because like he's been out all night, like
right,
and that whole mythology of sun gods and moon gods. Okay. So it maybe it alludes to that. Maybe I'm Dalcium reaching yoga flames and all that, but still, you know what I'm saying? Like, it might be. And then he also it's still to continue that whole metaphor thread of like rises above the leaves and
yeah.
I
like that imagery too of the sun going to work as well. Like that's something. Shouts out to Uggs. Did Uggs die yet?
I hope so.
Your man's is still out there.
Some dreams never end. The night sweats faces, sodden in evaporating moonlight.
Y'all nodding. I didn't like that at all.
Evaporating
that closing
moonlight.
line, bro. Like
I fucks with that.
I'm just again like going back to the sun thing. I feel like there's never that big hit that I want, that big satisfying point. You know what I'm saying? Like there is no real point
when you're talking about the sun
to the whole piece, really. Like, and I get it. You're building like New York imagery, and like this is a poem about being in New York and the struggles of New York and those things. But I feel like it's lacking that one like real concise moment.
Well, I think you're right, because in the end it felt impersonal.
How do I end this?
It started very personal to me,
Yeah.
and then as the piece progresses, it becomes more impersonal and maybe that's the writer doing that purposely, because I think that when people go to New York, I mean, me having been in New York several times now. People, unless you're a New Yorker, but I'm saying if you come from a different part of the country and you go and you live in New York, there's this sense of inclusiveness, this sense of love, this sense of community that you go and you seek out. And then if you're there long enough, you know what I mean? You become desensitized by it. You become, Jigga has a whole song about it, about somebody slip you an Ambien because it's a city that never sleeps. You know what I mean? And so I think that if that's the intention of the writer, is to create this disconnect from himself as to what it is to be in New York and to be a New Yorker, I think he accomplishes that. But then it also leaves me with this feeling of dissatisfaction that a lot of people that I know that leave New York or that have lived in New York for a period of time and then they come back to their respective homes, come back with. They have that sense of dissatisfaction. Like,
I'm fine with it. I mean, it's a soft landing, but it's a landing. And
I felt like it was just word swag and it wasn't a landing. I felt like it was just like hey, let's pull something out of the fucking ethereal fucking world of my brain and throw it down.
Right.
And that's the end of my poem. Like, it was poetic. It's definitely like poetry, but it just felt like word swag whenever I wanted
when you
was
were talking
like
about
some concise boom.
When you were talking about like that boom, that big moment in slam, right? In slam, we want those haymakers, those room
But I'm not
shakers,
saying that
right?
though. I'm not talking about like a big moment where it's like that was a bar line.
Right.
I'm talking about I want some like concise, contextual something. I want something that's gonna like tie this into something, the world, because he's working and we're clearly in a place and we're clearly in this place and we're walking through this place and we're having this experience and then at the end he's like, oh fuck that experience.
No, but because it's incomplete, I feel like it's wanting you leaving more and it's leaving you wanting more.
Okay.
And it's like maybe that was the point of it, because like we want typically stories to tie in together, but when someone's living that kind of life that he's ascribing to, it's like, this shit never ends. It's like an eternal struggle, and maybe that's what that is.
Word.
Far be it for me to say like exactly what it is, what the artist meant, what that meant, but maybe that's what it was. That like, but shit never ends.
You know what else too, Kuya, is that, I mean, this is a relatable story for people in LA too, because you have people that come to Hollywood that are searching for that big dream. You know what I mean? And I saw something on the gram the other day that a friend of mine posted. It's like, fame will not complete you.
Yeah.
Right.
Word.
And people come to this town searching for fame and they end up living that life.
Right.
That, you know what I mean? That after 2-3 years, I've had friends that have moved. Is somewhere as close as Orange County. They live in Los Angeles for a few years and then they fucking pack their bags and they're out, dude, because this lifestyle is not, this is a marathon, man.
Yeah.
And this is the long-term thing, and people don't get that. They think that they're going to come into this town because they live closer to the Hollywood sign. That means that they're basically in and that they've made it and that they're made. But like
they
Dr.
think they're on the
Dre,
stage, but really they just backstage.
well, like what Dre said in a Kendrick's album, he's like, look, man, anybody can make it.
Anybody
can get what I have. It's keeping it, maintaining it. That's the challenge.
I thought that was like just Kendrick's voice slowed down.
That's
All
Dre.
right, we'll have to go to the Rap Genius annotations for that one. All right, so out of 10, how would you rate it?
Man, if five is the standard, I'd give it.
5's a C-.
We'll go with that. Yeah.
I'll give it a 6.8.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, all right.
I give it a 6.8. It's not quite. Look, man, a 10 would have to be something that just like it not only.
Right.
I walk out of here with my mind changed, with my heart blossomed.
Not even touching the God number. Not even touching
man,
7.
You can't. No, man, I can't give it a 7 because
damn.
Look, it's a great effort. It's a great effort, and it's definitely creative. It has this immense amount of potential.
We'll get into that.
But we talking about the poetry, you know
Right.
what I mean? The
Facts.
video on the whole,
The video on
fucking 9 all day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, I'm
but
talking about
the actual
poetry.
poem,
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it that God number
With a 7.
because I think it's a fucking 7.
All right.
Like boom on the 7. It doesn't like get me there again. if there was more like cohesion within the piece, I think that would have gotten it to like maybe an 8. But there isn't really a cohesion, which I appreciate as well, because we are in this like building New York and the chaos of New York and the struggle of life and these things, and there's no cohesion in that. You know what I'm saying either. But it just never really makes a point. It takes you somewhere, and then it leaves your ass there.
Which
and then it walks away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
allow me my feels. Like I want that to marinate, bro. It's we're gonna bake something afterwards, but chill. Okay, so I like what you mentioned, like with the video and stuff. So here's my thing, knowing where I come from, right? Like as an art director, and like where I want poetry in the modern era to go, right? Like I was saying earlier, like you don't read a script like a book.
No.
Right? Because a script is meant to go with a visual. Word. And that is a work of art in entirety, the film itself, right?
Yeah, word.
So judging this, because he wrote this to go along with the visual that he shot and directed. So the question is like do we rate the text by itself, or do we rate it by the entire body of work? See, that's my question. And I think
the text, dog.
And I think personally, because of what I'm trying to do, right? I want to make.
Just hit you with those 3 I think.
Yo,
you're about to get mad defensive in here.
No. I don't allow y'all. But real talk though is like because that's what I'm trying to do. Like I'm trying to like make these like poetry videos.
Yeah, word.
Like shout out to Motion Poems, who are like one of the top channels on YouTube to do it right now, and they're getting that button poetry push. But Motion Poems, like they got top tier cinematography and like some pretty sharp poems
and
to go
both
with
piece
them.
parts and form each other.
And like, it's a synergy, it's cohesion together. Yeah. It's meant to be taken as a whole, and that's how I'm saying. So at this point, like, God, all right, I'll give it to if it's a slam piece and like someone's going with that, well, of course that's like that's probably like like upper 6s.
Yeah,
I'll give that fair. But if this was like entered like in, and let's say there was like a video, short film slam. If there was
okay, we're just gonna make up entire things.
Hold up. All right, so Pen Click presents the poetry short film slam 2018.
Okay,
we doing it. Fact.
This is gonna win.
Yeah, fact. And this would be like high contender.
Okay, so this is a high contender in the fake imaginary genre of poetry.
But dude, like that's where I personally want poetry to go, because
I feel
we just witnessed the birth. Of a movement.
And no, that's real talk, because that's what we're doing now. Like that's what we're doing right now. That's what a lot of us are doing with this tool. Like we were given poetry, we love poetry, and it's like, well, how do I take this into a multimedia world? How do I get this out of the coffee shops and the theaters, and how do I get this on to the internet? And this is the most effective way to do that, I think.
Because like people before they wrote, all they had to do was like oral recitation and pass it down the generation.
Yeah. And that doesn't play on multimedia either, because we have these poetry channels where they are putting out videos and stuff. Bless the gods, all Def Poetry. I see you. Go Google me.
But we're all scrambling how to best represent poetry.
Exactly. If you don't fuck with poetry, you don't want to watch a video of somebody on stage
who's just like looking at the mic the entire time, looking at the camera the entire time, speaking to a mic. Right. It's like
you want to watch this essentially.
Right. Exactly.
New audience draw. This is where it's fucking at.
Yeah.
But again,
if
you're giving a lot of merit to the poem right now.
Right. So if
based on this whole thing.
Well, let me put it to you like this. Okay. Let's say that someone is watching the podcast. They're not listening to it. They're watching the podcast, but for one reason or another, you're not able to upload this video to the podcast that they're watching. They got to go based solely on what they're hearing.
Word.
And
not that strong.
And if they're going based on what they're hearing, they have to.
Fair enough.
And they're not allowed to stop. They're not allowed to rewind.
Right.
They just gotta listen to it through. Now,
page poetry versus stage poetry.
Visually, I think that it's great. Because visually, he's telling us a completely different story that does complement the writing.
It's two different things.
It elevates the writing, and as a whole, then that would be a different score for me.
What this does for me is it uses really strong, powerful visuals to make a mediocre poem fire. Instead of taking a fire poem.
But there were so many bars, though.
Instead of taking a fire poem.
They had hot points.
It's all right. It's a dope poem. It is fucking lit. I like this poem. But this is not a fire poem making a video
7.5.
You got 7.5?
7.5.
I'll give you that. I'll give you
All right,
that.
so then-
I completely agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
I was scared you were going to hit me with a 9 right now.
No, but
Dog.
but if it
You
was,
need
it was
to get off your hopes and dreams and what you want to do.
yo, but
'Cause the
at the same-
execution's
but that's
lit.
what I want. That's where I want. That's where I see poetry going. You know what I'm saying?
Execution's lit, but the poetry ain't that strong.
Like, can you imagine like one day where like, you know, like when you're sharing poems via Instagram and is it being Instagram video visuals of all that, not just like a person taking a screen cap of the Notes app, but an actual video, like a 30-second clip on and that's their poem piece, and they're sharing it like strictly through social. It's like that's pretty ill.
That's dope.
That's ill.
But you're
No, it
creating, but basically, what you're saying is by giving this 7.5 is that you're creating that standard now. He is the standard for this 7.5. So anything that comes after this cat has to be fire.
Yeah.
He doing it. He doing it.
All right, so that was the first part of the 2-piece combo. Move on to the second piece where we pull out the first thing that comes up off hashtag poetry, going to the Instagrams. And we're talking about real poems, not just like pictures of tattoos and saying, like this is a poetic looking piece of a heart with a arrow through it that says my ex's name in it. No, poetic merit. All right. But we're talking about actual poems. And our poem comes from at Love and Bruise. Okay. And the
Love and Bruise.
Love and Bruise. Love and Bruise. Little edgelordy, but whatever. And the poem goes, Metamorphosis. Her thoughts change, just like the shades of Welkin.
Welkin?
Oh, let's look that up. First of all, shout out to Page Poetry, where you can like reread, and look up words.
The sky.
The vault of the sky, firmament.
Say that one more time.
The vault of the sky.
Yeah, I got from Google, the sky or heaven. It's a literary.
Yeah, the son of heaven.
Shades.
The celestial abode of God or the gods.
Okay.
Shades of Welkin.
Shades of
I
heaven.
don't know that.
I don't know if that works.
I don't know if that
Shades of
works.
heaven.
It sounds like you just heard a word that sounds really cool in your
Yeah, word.
108 English
And
class.
honestly, like when you find out the definition and it's like heaven or sky, just say heaven or sky. It sounds
Right.
better too. On the real, it sounds
exactly.
better. The shades of heaven. That
Stop
sounds
trying
lit.
to be complicated on purpose.
Yo, Shades of Heaven would be lit. Yeah.
Shades
And
of
you know
heaven
what?
is
Like
perfect.
very rarely do I use a word that if I'm gonna use a word that I don't use, that I don't speak with, it is for a fucking reason.
And
You
it
know what
has
I'm
to
saying?
make sense.
It is for a reason.
You're just trying to swag on them.
Yeah,
Like,
they
that's what
just
we're
trying to
do.
word swag. I know what Welkin means.
So her thoughts change, just like the shades of Welkin. The poem called Metamorphosis.
So her thoughts change,
just like the shades
just
of
like
heaven.
the shades of the sky, essentially.
Okay,
Just like the shades of heaven,
just like the heavens,
which
maybe.
is way more effective
right.
than us being like, what the fuck does Welkin mean? Why did you?
So
Why,
First of
girl?
all, people like even though if you knew the word, it's like if it don't land, if it don't land, it don't hit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
word.
saying? So off the rip, it's like we have the luxury of rereading because it's a page poem.
Right.
But even after finding out what it means, it's like this could have been said better.
Yeah, word.
And also too, if
Word
you
choice
think,
matters.
If you think about it, it's if you only had the chance to hear this once or to see it once,
Right.
what is it that you're walking away
Right.
with?
But
What the fuck does Welkin
but-
mean?
Yeah,
but
what
this
the
isn't-
fuck is Welkin?
Right, facts. But this isn't a stage poem though. This isn't a stage poem.
Yeah, I
So
feel
that. That's true.
We have,
Okay,
we have to
fair
allow
enough.
that. And also,
I still don't know what Welkin means.
good. Like great authors. They can use like a word that's not commonly used as long as they bring up the context
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
as long as there's a clear point,
Right.
and you understand why you're
that
using
implies its meaning. Like, oh, okay.
it. Yeah, exactly.
They have
I'm
a picture of a very colorful sky.
Oh, that just made it even worse. That just made it even worse. So
All right.
that means
God,
okay,
out of 10, out of 10.
I'm gonna hit it hard right now. I'm gonna say right now you only wrote this poem because you got a calendar, you got a word a day calendar, and Welkin was your word of the day.
Shit.
Yeah.
What?
Welcome was the word of the day on your on your Make Poetry Better app, and they give you, you know what I'm saying, that daily prompt app. So you only found this word Welkin the day you wrote this poem. You have no idea the context for the word or how to use it.
So they were making a
effectively.
poem out of their poetry magnets on their fridge.
Word.
And
that's too much credit. That's too much creative credit. I'm saying hard up. This is
Out of
on
10.
their word of the day calendar, and
they got the notification. They got the pop-up notification in the morning, like, welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
yeah. Your word today is welcome. Use
Brought
that
to you
and-
by Webster.
I'm gonna say because of that, because of like the first two lines not really saying a whole lot and just being like metamorphosis, change, welcome, like those are the
And
only
it's a
three.
meme, bro.
Yeah, word. And like there's no like real code. There's nothing really
All right.
going on here.
What we submitting to?
I'm gonna say 3, dog. I'm gonna say 3. Because again, like I think sky or heaven would have conveyed the point
Yeah,
you were
facts.
trying to convey.
But even
And-
if they
And the
did,
picture is a sky. It's a
I'm saying
beautiful
there's
sky. That's
yeah,
it,
word.
you know?
There's 2 times you hear like words you don't understand or know, and one of those times you're like, damn, I know what that word means now, or you're like, what the fuck does that mean, and why did this bougie pretentious fuck just use it? And that's what I got off this. Like
Word.
you just trying to word flex.
Go ahead.
You're just trying to like. I know welcome. Like, all right, but you didn't need to. You know what I'm saying? Like, heaven or sky would have been more effective because you're not going to give context. So, yeah, I'm going to say dead on a 3. That's a generous 3 because I'm thinking now if I give another number, it's going to be lower.
Let's
so
go.
I'm going to say 3.
All right, Alex the God, out of 10. What you got?
No, I have to follow. I have to follow Chubby Fat, man. I gotta give it a 3. I give it 1 point. I give it 1 point for taking the time to create the meme. I gave it another point for coming up with a cool ass picture because it's a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
And I get it, and I give it another point
Yo,
because
this might be a
they just
regram
published
too,
it.
because like,
And if it's a regram, it should probably be a 2.5.
If it's a regram, dog, I'm giving it a 2.
If it's a regram, I gotta drop it a point because it wasn't even something that dude or homegirl created. It
Yeah.
was something that they went, oh, that's nice, and then you
Or
know.
like I'm gonna pretend like I know what welcome means too.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna
Welkin.
regram it.
Welkin sounds like Belkin, which is the shit that I use to run my Wi-Fi. Bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Welkin
Like-
sounds like some old bougie white guy that I don't want to fucking chill with. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Hey,
That,
Mr.
like,
Wilkins, we have the TPS reports for you.
Yeah. Like, okay, hun, the little brown kid came to the door again today. I don't trust you, Welkin, at all. That's not a name that I trust at all.
Yeah.
All right, I would give it a 1.
Oh, that hurt my feelings, dog.
Because check. So
Damn.
because like it's not even like even if you know what it means, right? Like
Get 'em.
her thoughts change just like the shades of the sky, right?
Yeah.
Like bait, hella
Yeah,
bait.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like wow,
yeah,
you went for
yeah.
the. It's the only way you
Duh.
made it. The only way you made it not obvious was by using a word that's not commonly used.
Yeah, word, word.
But
word,
otherwise, it's like saying I look so good, I got water getting wet. It's like,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah.
water gets wet. What? It's like,
Water gets wet.
this sounds like a fucking like drunk ass freestyle at like 4 a.m. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you're just smacked as fuck.
To your ex's voicemail box.
Yeah, so you're looking for so you're 12 years old and you're looking for something like kind of deep to like take a screen cap and
Yeah.
like send via Snapchat to your girls or to the girl you're trying to propose and like, yo, her thoughts change just like the shades of Welkin. It's like, what up, ma? Da, da, da. And then she just gives you like the red and that's it.
Yeah,
it's like
Yeah.
you don't even see
Happy
like,
face
the
emoji.
typing back. You don't even see the typing back. You don't even get the emoji. You just see
Oh man.
you just see that it
You
was
just see that
it
they
was
were
red.
thinking, that they were thinking,
Yeah.
that they were thinking, and they didn't post anything.
Yeah. These boot.
One
Did you
for
say
effort.
Welkin? The fuck is welcoming? 1 for effort.
One for
period.
effort.
One-
Yeah.
Damn.
Straight
All right.
like that.
All right.
Wow, that's the lowest thing we've ever scored on the pen click.
Was it?
I think so. And you know what? You ain't never used the word welkin. You ain't never gonna use the word welkin again. I hope you learn your lesson. Because the fuck does that mean?
Stop
And
using
again,
words you don't know.
Sky or heaven sounds better.
Yeah.
Sky or heaven works better. And we all
Yeah.
know what it is. You know what I'm saying? You ain't getting extra credit points because you used a word that nobody fucking uses or
Yo,
knows.
you seen the Welkin out there?
Yeah. Hey, that's a beautiful welkin.
Hashtag Welkin, bro.
The Welkin might rain today. You know?
Right, yeah. Yeah, we see you. We appreciate you, kind of. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bless the gods. That's the 2-piece. Moving on. Hey, it's almost over, guys. I'm kind of sad.
Yeah.
This is a quick one.
Y'all watch the Pen Click on YouTube, so y'all know what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe. Share, rise, survive.
Thank y'all.
Love y'all.